Is this a lawn fungus? Does Weed Beater Complete kill clover? And how do I keep the grass healthy around my septic tank? I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, it is now middle of October, and for a lot of you, things have started to slow down in terms of your lawn and gardens. However, on our side of things, we are just as busy as ever, as we continue to get emails from you day after day with questions about your lawns and your gardens. So we selected 5 questions from the inbox today. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question for today is from Rob. Tim, I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We just had a lot of rain and was able to cut it the other day. 2 days after cutting it, I noticed this on my lawn in different spots. I'm guessing it is a fungus due to the rain. Can you tell me if it is, or if not, what is it and how to treat it? Thank you for sending in a picture. It definitely helps us identify the issue. This looks a lot like brown patch to me, and based on what you described with the amount of rain that you've received, that's not really too surprising. So the product that I would actually recommend is Bio Advanced Fungus Control, and obviously it's available over at rosensonline.com. Now, one of the great things about the Bio Advanced product is not only will it help cure the brown patch that you have right now, but if you put this down periodically throughout the spring and summer, it's also going to help you prevent some of these lawn diseases from kind of cropping up when things get really, really hot, or those conditions become just right where certain types of lawn diseases and funguses, will then start to rear their ugly heads. So for this brown patch that you have right here, again, I highly recommend Bio Advanced Fungus Control. Get it down as soon as you can and it should clear up. The good news is it is middle of October, and so again, with the temperatures starting to drop, any kind of residual effect that fungus may have is going to die off here as soon as things really start to cool down, and obviously your grass is going to go dormant. The next question is from Ann. Hi Tim, I saw this week's video about Wilt-Proof and Image. Will they together, or just one of them, kill Creeping Charlie from returning next spring if I apply now while overseeding? So Image will absolutely kill Creeping Charlie. In fact, it's actually called Ground Ivy if you were to look on the back label of the Image, all-in-one weed killer. It's a really great product. We highly, highly recommend it. It's definitely going to take care of the Creeping Charlie. Now, the Wilt-Proof product, in terms of the overseeding process, all the Wilt-Proof product is doing is helping the Image weed killer to stick to the weeds and stick to the lawn so that it doesn't get down to the soil surface. Because if the Image herbicide gets down to the soil surface, you're not going to be able to overseed. So if you follow the steps that we've laid out in terms of using that mixture, scalping your lawn a couple of days later, and so on and so forth, then yeah, definitely use them together. But if you're planning on overseeding, do not use the Image product alone right now, because you're actually going to have to wait 30 days after application of that herbicide before you can overseed. So obviously both products are available over at Rosens Online. So just remember, if you are going to overseed, make sure that you use the Image plus the Wilt-Proof product together. Mix them in a gallon pump sprayer and you'll be good to go. The third question for today is from Dorothy. Hi Tim, will Weed Beater Complete kill existing clover? I have a lot of threading through my grass and would prefer to use a product by my spreader over using a spray. So Weed Beater Complete kills over 200 listed weeds, and clover is one of them. So that's good news. Obviously, yes, you can use it in terms of this application. Now, a couple of things I want to caution you about. First of all, in terms of using Weed Beater Complete versus a spray, and I completely understand why you don't want to use the spray. I do need you to understand, though, that granulars are never as effective as a type of concentrate, a type of spray that you would use to kill the weeds. So as long as you understand that, you have that to kind of manage your expectations, then you'll be just fine. The other thing I just want to caution you about in terms of using the weed killer now is simply the fact that the clover may come back in the spring. And I say that because it's mid-October and it's probably not growing very fast, if at all. It's definitely not going to be spreading as prolifically as it would, say, in the spring and the summer. So just don't be surprised if after you put it down, it's going to kill some of the clover. I would be a little bit surprised if it got all of it. So just tell yourself, I'm going to have to put down another application or two in the springtime, and that should really help you control it. Obviously, Weed Beater Complete is available over at rosensonline.com. The next question is from Nicole. Hi Tim, I have a lot of spiders, ladybugs, any insect you can think of I have outside my house. Is there anything I can use in my yard to kill/control bugs? I have a lot of woods and weeds in my backyard. I'm not sure if that's part of the problem, but I'm open to any suggestions you maybe have. So we have a bunch of pest control products available over at Rosens Online, and I would encourage you to go to the website and check them out. Two products that come to mind, I'll give you one that's a granular, would be by BioAdvanced, and it's Complete Insect Killer for Lawns. The other one is by Monterey, and it's called Mite and Insect Control. And it's also an insecticide, but that's actually a spray. So it's something that you would actually spray down on your lawn. Both products are going to be effective at killing most of the insects that you're going to have in your grass. However, because you live near a wooded area, you're always going to be having a battle with insects. So this is something that you're just going to unfortunately have to deal with in the late spring, in the midsummer, and into fall every single year. So the good news is most of these products can be applied multiple times a year. So just follow the labels very closely and pick the product that you think is right for you. But both of those products that I listed are definitely going to help the issues that you're having in your lawn. The final question for today is from Dennis. Hi Tim, I have a septic system with the 1,000 gallon tank with only 10 to 12 inches of dirt covering the tank. I've tried multiple varieties of grass seed to grow in the area, but nothing survives. After overseeding in the fall, the seed germinates and looks great during the spring season, but eventually dies in the summer heat and the below the surface tank heat. Do you have any recommendations for a variety of seed that might work? So this is an issue that I have some personal experience dealing with. Now you say that there's 10 to 12 inches between the top of the soil and the top of the septic tank. Well, the home that I currently live in, when we moved in, there was less than 6 inches. And I know that because I was experiencing the same issue that you were in terms of having that grass just basically die off in that late August, early September timeframe. Now, I knew that it was only 6 inches because when we had to have our septic pump, I couldn't believe how shallow they had to dig before they actually hit the top of that septic tank to remove the lid. So once they were all done with their work, let me explain to you what I did, and hopefully this will work for you. I added a bunch of soil. In fact, I raised it probably 7-8 inches to get me up, a little bit over that 15-inch mark in terms of where the top of the soil is and the top of the septic tank. And that's really, really important because you want to put as much distance as feasible between the soil surface and the top of that tank. The more soil there is in there, the more your roots are going to be able to pull in nutrition and ultimately help the grass survive. After I put down the soil, I actually added Barenbrook Turf Saver RTF. We talk about it a lot on this program. We absolutely love it here. My yard looks beautiful because of it, the way that it naturally spreads. And it's just frankly a hardier type of grass. And so it worked really, really well. It has some drought tolerance. So again, when you think of that kind of concrete box, that 1,000-gallon tank that's sitting in your ground, it's not retaining water really well. It's obviously not allowing as much nutrition to sit in the soil because it is taking the place of all of that soil that would normally be under the grass. So using something that's pretty hardy like a Barenbrook RTF is definitely the way to go. The other two things that I do is I use Turf Trust lawn fertilizers, and I hope that you do that on your entire lawn as well. But if you're not using it on your entire lawn, make sure that you at least put it down and feed the grass around your septic system really, really well. And then I also use Kickstart. When you put down Kickstart, it strengthens the roots of the grass. So, we always tell people put down Kickstart on your lawn at least once a month, but you really should be doing it at least once a week during those hot summer months. And I would absolutely make sure that you're putting it down in that septic area, August into September, because again, that's going to help keep that grass green by really strengthening the roots. It's going to maximize the amount of nutrition that it can pull in from the soil. And obviously it's going to be pulling in a lot of that nutrition that Turf Trust is putting in. So again, raise the level of soil by, several inches. Try to get up to at least that 15-inch mark. Definitely overseed with the Barenbrug Turf Saver RTF. Make sure you're using Turf Trust 4 times a year, and definitely make sure you're using Kickstart. Again, we always recommend at least once a month, but in this particular area during these warm summer months, especially like the summer that we've had, I would absolutely put it down at least once a week. I'll be perfectly honest with you. When I followed those steps, I have not had a single issue in terms of my lawn in that area with the septic tank. It's still green even now. Okay, everybody, just a couple final thoughts before we end this week's video podcast. Folks, we still have the fall feeding frenzy going on over at rosensonline.com. So make sure that you head over there if you haven't done your 3rd feeding. But again, be thinking ahead also to that 4th feeding that's coming up in mid-November. This is a great way to save on the product that you need. You're going to get free shipping. So again, we're only going to run this for a couple of more weeks. So make sure you head over to Rosens Online right now and pick up what you need for your 3rd and 4th feedings. Now, folks, I mentioned Kickstart with the last question that we just addressed here on the program. And again, I want to remind everyone how important Kickstart is to your plants, to your grass, to your trees, your shrubs. Again, it works with any plant. Make sure that you get it down to really strengthen the root systems, and you can continue to apply it as long as the plant hasn't gone dormant. So head over to rosensonline.com. Pick up some Kickstarts. It's a really good time to use it if you aren't already. You can buy it by the bottle. You can buy it by the case. The last thing I want to talk about are weed controls like Gallery and Dimension. Folks, if you have not overseeded, get them down right now. If you have overseeded, you need to wait until that mid-November time frame before you can safely put it down. But again, these are really effective products at helping control weeds. And when you put a product down like this, you're actually thinking about the springtime next year in terms of how your lawn is going to look. So head over to rosensonline.com, pick up some Dimension, pick up some Gallery. Again, if you have not overseeded this fall, you need to get them down right now. Folks, as always, we really appreciate the questions that you send in. We've been getting a lot of really positive feedback in terms of pictures of your lawn that you've been overseeding. A lot of you have been very, very busy, and we love seeing the before and after pictures. If you have questions or you just want to share in some of the success that you've had with the products or the advice that we've given, please let us know. Send an email directly to tim@rosensonline.com. And if it's a question, I promise that I will get back to you as quickly as I can. As always, we appreciate the time that you've spent with us today. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of the week. God bless.